Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's episode of Blue York One News. I'm Jonathan Sauerschell from NYCFC Blues and Blue City Radio. Here we're going to bring you this week's news for NYCFC as they're in the middle of their preseason. And we have actually some game action to discuss and also a really, really fun reveal for their new secondary jerseys. But first, we'll start off with the game action. There's actually two games to talk about that have occurred since last Wednesday. The first was last Friday afternoon at the IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. NYCFC took on OKC Energy FC of the USL. This game ended 1-0 with NYCFC getting the win off of a David Villa goal in the first half. The game was notable for NYCFC holding most of the possession, which is to be expected against the USL side. And we saw Ronald Matarrita line up as a left winger in the 4-3-3 formation. And it was actually his play that led to David Villa's goal. He pressed high up the field, was able to dispossess the Oklahoma City player, and feed it to Villa, who was able to walk in and put it away. Again, NYCFC had multiple chances and should have scored more than one goal, a few posts, and actually Patrick Mullins had a penalty saved in the last minutes of the game that would have made it 2-0. So NYCFC could have definitely had more than one goal, and that is something that we have to look forward to or contemplate as the preseason goes on, is why we're not scoring some more goals. Is it just a case of bad luck, bad finishing? Because it seems like the chances are coming, and the chances certainly came against the Energy. The other note was the Mikey Lopez played 90 minutes as the defensive midfielder. We got to see the first action for Diego Martinez at left back. He started the game at left back, and actually in the second half, Matarrita moved back to left back in his spot. We got to see Kyrie Shelton play, and he put in an energetic performance coming in the second half for Tony Taylor. And Patrick Mullins came out in the second half, as seems to be normal, and had an impact, and did have that penalty that was saved. All in all, it was a good run out for NYCFC. We did not see Andre Pirlo, Andrew Jacobson, Jefferson Mena, Frank Lampard, or Jay Allen. They sat out the game, some for health reasons, some just to give them an extra day of rest. But we got to see the team play together again, and you started to see the possibility of a center back partnership between Ethan White and Frederick Brilliant. They started and they played okay together, though it is tough to tell how much they were really challenged. But there was some signs to take from that game, and they moved on actually to last night. They were in Tampa, Florida, at Al Lang Stadium, playing the Montreal Impact. So a high level of competition for NYCFC last night, and they also won 1-0 off of a Patrick Mullins goal in the second half. It was a game that NYCFC actually played really, really well. They controlled most of the possession. They were aggressive. They were much quicker on the ball than Montreal. While Montreal did have some chances, they were all against the run of play, and NYCFC should have had more than one goal again. Mix Diskerud had a very good chance. Kyrie Shelton had a few chances that he was unable to put away. And all in all, the team really was creating opportunities. They just could not finish them. This game saw David Villa start up top with Tony Taylor on the left and Kyrie Shelton on the right. The midfielders Andrea Pirlo, Mix Diskerud, and Tommy McNamara, and they performed well. There are some concerns about getting them on the counterattack, and I think that's something we have to look out for during the season, and how that midfield sets up and how the balance works. But they definitely were impactful in attack. Andre Pirlo had a very good game. Mix Diskerud looked more comfortable in a 4-3-3. He probably should have had a goal, and he did some other positive things. Typical Mix Diskerud in some ways. You also could say that he didn't have a good game. I thought he would look more comfortable in that formation, which I think is appropriate for him. You got to see Ethan White and Frederick Brilliant play together again, and Brilliant in particular was, well, I don't want to say he was brilliant, because that's a cheap pun. But he was very good. He looks very composed, very solid. He's very sure of himself and where he needs to be. They definitely played a higher line, which is something to look out for as the season progresses and how that's going to affect the team. but it seemed to work for the style of play that they want. The fullbacks push up. Matarrita started at left back and put in another really strong game. Andoni Iraola started at right back with R.J. Allen out with a minor injury, and he performed well again. And all in all, the team, they looked good. You really would have liked to see more than a 1-0 victory. They did have to Eric Johansson started in goal and played the whole 90 minutes, and he had to make some good saves. But Montreal is a good team. They were without Didier Drogba, but they still are an MLS squad, last year playoff squad, and they forced some movement from Johansson. They forced the defense to actually have to work, and while it wasn't perfect, and there's still things they need to be worked on, there were positive signs from the team. They definitely look a lot more aggressive, and they're much more of a pressing team this year. They look quicker with the ball and without the ball. Their movement, their passing, it's all quicker, crisper, with more intent. There's definitely a lot of positives to take out from that. Shelton and Taylor were able to use their athleticism. They got a lot of space. You would like to see Shelton finish a couple of those chances, but he made some really nice near-post runs to get on the end of crosses and create chances. There's definitely positives to take from it. It was not perfect, but things are rarely perfect in sports. But all in all, there's a lot of positives to take from that. You just hope that the finishing can, they can put away more than one a game at this point. I will say the finish by Mullins was very nifty. It came off of a block shot by Mikey Lopez. Took a shot that was blocked in the box. It popped right out to Mullins on the edge of the 18, and he was able to put it away neatly for the 1-0 victory. So NYCFC continues to get results in the preseason, and I think improve as a team. We still didn't see Frank Lampard. He did sit out this game as well. R.J. Allen was also out with a minor injury. Jefferson Mena as well. Andrew Jacobson did make his return and came on in the second half. So we'll see how he fits in. And with the impending arrival of Federico Bravo, who we spoke about last week, we'll see how that affects the depth and the rotation on the team. He has... we have not received official announcement from NYCFC. However, he has been photographed with the team in Florida. So it seems like it's just a matter of paperwork getting finalized by the league as opposed to anything else. But all sources that are connected with the club in any way, shape, or form indicate that this is done. He's joining the team on loan for this year with an option to buy after the season. So we look forward to seeing him get some action. They have 3 more preseason games remaining. The first one will be this Saturday night against HB Koje from Denmark, and it'll be this Saturday evening. Also at the IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. That game is available streaming on IMG Academy TV. It is a pay service. It's $4.99 per game, or $15 for the month. So that means you would actually get the 2 remaining games of NYCFC's preseason as part of that $15. So that's something you can certainly look into, and links will be readily available. And I can actually tell you I have a piece up on our website, NYCFC Blues, that actually includes the links and the times for the remaining games. If you need a one-stop shop for finding where to watch NYCFC. The final bit of news this week actually is regarding the official unveiling of the secondary jersey for NYCFC, which was unveiled last week, Wednesday the 10th. The unveiling was, as previously spoke about, was interesting in terms of the jersey itself. It is the design we had seen a few days before and we had spoken about last week, with a kind of a circular swirl pattern on a deep blue jersey with some orange accents and lettering. I personally love it. Some don't like it as much, but it's definitely different. But really, today we want to talk about not so much the jersey itself. You can find that online and many other places. Really what we want to talk about is the way they unveiled the jersey. NYCFC took a novel approach to unveiling this jersey, as opposed to the normal having an event at a sports store, or some teams have an event at their stadium or at a local establishment, a viewing party almost, but for a jersey, and the fans can come to. They actually even they went a few steps further. They actually had 3 of their star players go visit 3 various big-time fans and unveil it to them as a surprise. These fans were being videotaped as part of what they were told was a documentary on fandom for NYCFC, and it was something that the club was involved in. So they knew they were being videotaped. There was Mick Malamphy from Ryan's Daughter. There was NYCFC Pigeon, one of our super fans. He was working at a school community setting in New York City. He works with children, and he was doing his normal job with the kids. And then there was two gentlemen, Italian in New York City, who have a cafe, restaurant type of establishment, and they were talking, and they were on video, and they have video. The video sets up for each of these ones. They're individual videos talking about the fandom, talking about the team. The Italian gentlemen are talking about Andrea Pirlo. Mick Malamphy's talking about the team to people at the bar, and NYCFC Pigeon. He is he has on a supporters group shirt, and he's talking with the kids in the gymnasium, doing their normal thing during the day. And at various points, a star player stops in to surprise them with the new jersey. David Villa visited Ryan's Daughter. Quadrupoku visited NYCFC Pigeon. And Andrea Pirlo visited the Italian gentleman and was able to surprise them. And they were surprised them with a jersey. And, they have a short video for each of these, showing them in their daily lives. And then they're surprised of seeing their star NYCFC player walk into their place of business or place of work and surprise them with that brand new jersey. So it was a really novel approach. It got a lot of great feedback on social media from even non-NYCFC fans. They all remarked how great of an idea it was, and it really shows how NYCFC is connecting with the community in New York City and the New York fans, and it was really well done. I recommend you watch them. They're on nycfc.com. I can tell you that this week's actually Blue City Radio, we interviewed Mick Malamphy from Ryan's Daughter, and he was a fantastic interview as well, and I would recommend checking that out. He was a really, really good interview. He's fun. He's fantastic. He's Irish, and he's just got that way about him. He's really, really fun to talk to. So I recommend checking those out. And, if you like the jersey, I'm sure you can go ahead and order one. I know I ordered one for myself, and a lot of people did, sometimes against their better judgment, but I have a feeling it's going to be surprisingly popular. And with that, we're done with this week's Blue York 1 News. I'm Jonathan Sauerschell from NYCFC Blues and Blue City Radio. You can check us out at nycfcblues.com, at NYCFCBlues, and at Blue City Radio on Twitter. And you can find the Blue City Radio podcast on iTunes, or wherever else you listen to podcasts, depending on your digital device. Have a good night, everyone.